Please welcome Stephanie Grisham.
I wasn't just a Trump supporter, I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors. The Trump family became my family. I spent Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On a hospital visit one time when people were dying in the ICU, he was mad that the cameras were not watching him. He has no empathy, no morals, and no fidelity to the truth. He used to tell me, "It doesn't matter what you say, Stephanie. Say it enough and people will believe you." But it does matter. What you says matter, and what you don't say matters. On January 6th, I asked Melania if we could at least tweet that while peaceful protest is the right of every American, there's no place for lawlessness or violence. She replied with one word: no. I became the first senior staffer to resign that day. I couldn't be part of the insanity any longer. When I was press secretary, I got skewered for never holding a White House briefing. It's because, unlike my boss, I never wanted to stand at that podium and lie. Now here I am, behind a podium, advocating for a Democrat. And that's because I love my country more than my party. Kamala Harris tells the truth. She respects the American people, and she has my vote. Thank you.
Don't know why, but I feel like
At our 12-week ultrasound, our worst nightmares came true. The baby had stopped growing, but my body had not let go. I was told I was not eligible for any treatment at that point. The Dobbs decision was official, and abortion was banned.
In 2021, I needed an abortion. After an ectopic pregnancy, I was able to access life-saving medical care when I needed it, and now I'm turning to IVF to build my family.
I'm supporting Kamala Harris because I'm an IVF mom.
It's not just the headline-making stories that these bans impact. It impacts people trying to build families, just like me.
All Americans deserve the right to build their families in the way they know is best for them.
We need to band together and elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States.
Please welcome Nabella Noor.
What calls me here tonight is hope. As a woman who has struggled with fertility, I have not always been hopeful, but today I am. I'd always dreamt of motherhood, and coming from a large Bangladeshi American family, I imagined it'd be easy. It wasn't. My husband and I tried to conceive. We failed. We tried and failed again and again and again for 6 long years. Finally, I got pregnant. We were overjoyed, but then I miscarried. I was devastated. It was only after sharing my story online and hearing from women about their experiences with IVF that I felt a tiny glimmer of hope. So I started the IVF process. But just a few weeks before my egg retrieval, I learned I was pregnant. Today, we have 2 beautiful daughters. But this is not everyone's ending. For many women, IVF is the only choice. That choice and more is at stake in November. The freedom to plan your family, the hope of having a family at all. I'm here to stand with everyone fighting for our reproductive freedoms, because my daughters and yours deserve every option, every hope, every possible future. To anyone listening who is struggling to start a family, you are not alone. We will not let you lose hope. Because when we come together to raise our voices with love, we win. Thank you.
Please welcome Michigan Senator Gary Peters.
In Michigan, we believe we have to build an economy that grows the middle class. And we know that when unions succeed, all workers win. I was raised in a union household. My father was a teacher, and my mother a nurse's aide. And they gave me and my sisters what every parent wants to provide for their children, an opportunity to pursue their dreams. I went to public school, I worked odd jobs, became an Eagle Scout. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz grew up just like me. And I know they will fight for all of us. They will make it easier to raise our families and to retire with dignity. Just look at the record. As Vice President, Kamala Harris helped pass legislation that finally allowed Medicare to negotiate and lower the cost of prescription drugs. She brought manufacturing jobs back to the United States of America. And as governor, Tim Walz signed the largest infrastructure investment in Minnesota history. And on the other hand, we have Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. And let's be clear, if they win, working people like my friends here from the Teamsters will pay the price. Their Project 2025 agenda is the same old, gut overtime pay, cut healthcare programs, and give billions in tax breaks to billionaires. We cannot let that happen, and we will not let that happen. And now I want to introduce some retired Teamsters and pension warriors, led by Ken Stribling, president of the National United Committee to Protect Pensions.
I am Kenneth Stribling, a proud retired Teamster from Local 200 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I hope you don't mind, but I brought some friends. Pension warriors from the NUCPP. I found out in 2025 my monthly pension benefit was going to be reduced in half. Not long after that, my wife, Beverly, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I didn't know how we were going to make it. So I went to a retirees meeting in the basement of a small church. At that moment, I knew we were not going to go down without a fight. Beverly made me promise never to quit until we made this right. So we organized a nationwide grassroots movement. For 6 years, we fought hard. And finally, we had a breakthrough. After 50 days in office, the Biden-Harris administration passed the American Rescue Plan, including the Butch-Lewis Act, to save our pensions and secure our retirement. They got it done without one single Republican vote in Congress. They saved over 1 million pensions, including 33,000 from my state, Wisconsin, 52,000 from Pennsylvania, 61,000 from Michigan. As president, I know Kamala Harris will have our backs. She will fight for our retirement, Social Security, and Medicare. Beverly passed away in 2019, but I kept my promise, because a promise is a promise is a promise. Thank you.
For years, Big Pharma has often inflated the price of life-saving medications, and millions of Americans have suffered as a result. Those costs got passed on to our seniors, but not anymore.
It was because of them that we had insulin for $35 compared to $687.
What a gift. This $35 is life-changing for us.
The beauty of it is it's fixed. Everything else goes up, but it stays the same. I have more discretionary income, 20, 30 bucks a month more. His wife and I can go to the pub and have a burger and fries.
I can afford my rent. I can afford to feed my children. I can afford my insulin.
It's saving me a couple $1,000s a year, which is several trips to visit the grandkids.
I am looking forward to that lifestyle where I can travel and be able to enjoy my grandchildren and maybe great-grandchildren.
It meant I could enjoy life.
President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Maryland this afternoon to unveil a new plan cutting prescription drug costs. 10 popular drugs are affected by this, including cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and blood clot medications.
Seniors will save roughly $1.5 billion in out-of-pocket costs next year.
With Kamala Harris, I feel so hopeful. I feel the future of America will be good.
As president, I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone.
I am so excited. I can't hardly stand it. We're going to only go forward. We can't go back.